Hey guys, today I'm going to be planting a 14-inch wide fiddle leaf fig tree and also a 10-inch wide bird of paradise. Do you want to watch? So we've got our pots. These are not terracotta pots, although they look like it. I would not be able to hold them with such ease if they were. These pots are made out of polyethylene resin. They're Italian made, and according to the label they are UV resistant, which won't really matter for us because these plants that we're planting are going inside. But if you were to use these pots outside, the UV resistance would make it so that your root system doesn't get burnt if it's a really hot summer day. I've got them in two sizes. This size is for my 14-inch wide plant. The width of the top of this pot is 16.5 inches wide, and the base of the pot is 14 inches wide. So we're gonna be able to get that plant in there and have some extra room to add some soil around the perimeter. Our other pot is this 14-inch wide pot at the top, and at the bottom we have 10 inches wide. This is where our 10-inch wide bird of paradise is gonna go. So the general rule when potting into pots is make sure that there is a couple of extra inches around the perimeter so you can add some extra soil and give your root base room to stretch out. Come closer. So we've got our pot with a drainage hole, of course, and we have our soil. This is Fox Farm Ocean Forest, my favorite, and my mom made me the scoop out of an old laundry detergent bottle, just perfect. So we're gonna scoop in a layer of dirt on the bottom. We do a layer down first because if there are roots growing out the bottom of this pot, we want to give those roots some soil to grow into. We don't want to push them up against the cold, hard reality of the pot. So now that we have our layer of soil down first, we're going to wrangle this fiddle leaf fig tree out of this pot. This part tends to be the most daunting part for most people, getting this plant out of this pot. First, we're going to try to just lift it out and see what happens. It probably won't budge. Ooh, we lucked out. It's totally loose. Sorry, I live by an airport. Oftentimes, you need to have a pair of heavy-duty shears to cut open the pot and actually open it up and get the root base out. Fortunately for me, this plant is loose. So we're just wiggling and letting it fall. And we're going to place it right inside. So this is perfect. We have a little bit of room around the perimeter to add more soil and some room on top. Now all you have to do is fill it in. You can wiggle it around so that you can get dirt into all of the crevices, and don't be afraid to get your hands in there. You want to pack it down and make sure it's nice and sturdy. And that's it. Now for our bird of paradise. So as promised, I'm going to show you how to actually cut this pot open and pry this plant out. So the best way of going about this is getting a pair of heavy-duty shears, which these are not, but it's all I could find at the moment. Now you're going to take your pot and find your drainage holes in the bottom, and you're going to connect them, cutting around the perimeter. It can be a struggle. And let's do one more. And now we're going to find this hole in the middle of our slit, and we're going to cut up. All right, there you have it. So, the big reveal. Oh. Look at those roots. This is gonna be very happy to have some more space to grow. Now again, we're putting a layer of soil down into the pot first. Depending on the size of the plant you're planting, you may want to add more or less of a layer on the bottom. This plant has a lot of roots that are eager for more space, so we're gonna plant about 3 to 5 inches of soil on the bottom. Now we just lift our plant out of the grow pot. Now before we pop this in, we need to break up the root base. Basically, we just wanna wake these guys up and let them know that there's more medium to grow in now. You don't have to go crazy, but you definitely wanna just kind of massage out the roots a little bit. And you can do this right over the pot so that your mess is minimal. This is also a great way of inspecting the roots. If these roots were breaking off easily, that would indicate root rot. But we don't have that problem here. So now that I have this in here, I realize that I actually want to prop it up a bit more. So I'm going to add a few more inches of soil to the bottom of the pot. Having too deep of a bottom layer can be risky. Until those roots are able to grow into all this new medium, we run the risk of waterlogging this plant. So to combat that, we're going to add something else. Vermiculite helps with soil aeration. So if this soil gets waterlogged, this will help it dry out faster. I'm just gonna mix it in. Okay, we've added a bit to the bottom and now we're gonna try planting this again. I think that's a good level. So now, as before, we're adding soil around the perimeter of the plant. Now we want to pack all this in nice and tight so we make sure that the plant is steady. Now this last step is an important one. Whenever you repot a plant, you want to water it right away. You want those newly awakened roots to start searching out for water and exploring the new terrain. However, it's important to water right into the direct center of the plant, especially for our bird of paradise, because we did add a lot of extra soil. We want to make sure that when we water it, we water straight into the center of the plant where we know the roots already exist. Watering around the perimeter is just going to get a bunch of soil wet, and that soil is going to stay wet. And as we all know, soil that stays wet attracts pests, grows fungus, and has a tendency to rot our roots. Thanks for watching me plant these up. For more plant advice and lots of video tutorials, find us at www.leafpeep.us. See you there.